There we go. I think we're live. It's James Maduk speaking, trainingsites.io. I think we're live. Hopefully everything's good today. If you haven't been to these before, these are live, open question and answer, ask me anything. When it has to come to starting, building, growing an education business, that's what I'm here for, and hopefully be able to help you out doing that. One of the things I've been focusing on over the last little while, of course, is how do we leverage AI to all of these big transitions to what's happening in the space. So if you do have questions about any of the AI stuff that you've run into, some of the announcements this week that were kind of wild, don't be afraid to bring them up. And as always, you can put any of your comments, put them in the chat, the discussion. I'd love to find out where you're from, what you're working out, working on, any of the projects you have going, stuff or trouble that you're running into. And we can cover basically anything in that education space. Again, starting, building, and growing an education business. I'd love to help you out about that. Now, one of the things that I will say up front is I think last week I actually had the stream disconnect. So if for whatever reason I run into a bandwidth issue here in my home office and it does disconnect, just stay on and I'll get back connected as soon as I can. What do you want to talk about? What's coming up? What questions are you running into? Is there things that you want to try and find out? Is it working? Is it not working? Do you have other suggestions? I'm all open for those ones. The other thing is too, I'm not sure that you might see it. I do normally have a live chat stream that shows up, and it doesn't look like it is. So I apologize for that. I'll have to just look on another screen off to the side here and see what the scoop is when you are asking questions. No questions? Who's online here? What's going on? What are you guys working on? What do you want to talk about? These are open. Anything is open for discussion. And if there isn't any, obviously I can talk about this stuff for hours and hours and hours, which I do on the channel here. And again, the community is available there, trainingsites.io. I'd love for you to join up and be part of the community. All of the content that I have is all sorts of stuff. I put it in as best that I can and go from there. So yeah, so who's here? What's happening? Who's coming on? Anything else going on? Like anything that you run into? I think we got Richard. Hello, loud and clear. Perfect. What else we got here? Low audio. Type in the chat. Yeah, type in the chat. We should be okay here. Give me a thumbs up and let me know if the audio is okay or if there's an issue with it. We should be loud enough. I got it as loud as I possibly can. Yeah, so one of the things I will talk about, let me know again on questions. I'm just looking to the side here. Avatars, yeah, we can talk a little bit about avatars and the agent stuff in avatars. This is right now, I think we have 449 days left before the end of 2026. And again, this is, I don't have a crystal ball. This is just from all the research I've been doing, all of the people that I follow, and especially in the education space. I'm convinced that this next 449 days is going to be about agents, plural, and also avatars. And I think the reason avatars is coming into play is because of the ability for all of these agents to reference who we are, the context of the content we've been creating, and the way that we interact with all of the agents. They're going to be able to reference that and kind of present on our behalf. And I think there's a real opportunity for us as educationers or education specialists to be able to leverage that presence outside of our physical presence, but have these agents and avatars basically trained on our content. And I know there's already people kind of doing this. There's two things in play here. And again, this is just me kind of spitballing. There's two things that are really interesting here that have been coming out in the AI space. Here's kind of the first thing that I've noticed. A couple month ago, 2 months ago, there's Google introduced the idea of having those spaces, Google forget what they called it. I did a video on it. I'm just forgetting the name right now, but it was basically a place where you could describe a physical space and it would generate the space for, they did some demos, for example, of a painter painting a wall, and you could actually see from the first person perspective painting the wall. Then they turned to an opposite wall, and when they came back to the original one, it was still in context. So you've got these spaces that are being kind of built out. The second thing is we have all these physical wearables that are coming out now, which are giving context to AI on where we are in the physical world. So I'm thinking of the glasses, for example, the Google glasses or the Ray-Bans that came from Facebook. So it knows, AI knows where you are in real time, what time it is physically where you are in a map, what it is you're actually doing. And then you have these virtual worlds where it can recreate different places and things that you're doing. And then the whole gaming space, which is the other part that I don't think people are remembering, is that gaming is about communities built in about a specific task. So these kind of things I thinking are coming together, and it's going to change the experiences that we're able to give people or show people how to do things or actually do things. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're live with people. So I think avatars, and you've seen some of them. If you go check out some of the YouTube channels now, there's tools like HeyGen and 11 Labs where you can basically write a script and have something or someone that is pretty close to being someone else. Sora 2 came out last week, where you've got lifelike people. Again, from a prompt, you're creating it in a space already done. So, there's that part of it. And then we've got these agents that can basically do stuff on our behalf. So those are the pieces I think are coming together. Those 449 kind of days that we have left, I think those ones are going to be in there. I'm just going to pull my other computer here so I don't have to turn to the side as much. So I think it's going to be interesting. Right now I'm focusing on agents and automating all of the things that I normally have to do, and you do if you're prepping for creating content or you're doing the marketing part of your business and your campus. Being able to automate those or kind of offload those and just spend more time teaching. There's the next 6 months, I think, is going to be a real focus on that. And that was brought out yesterday or the day before. Today's Wednesday. I think it was Monday, just with the agent builder from OpenAI, which I did a video on as well. So I wish I had my chat window showing up. I don't know. I did it wrong here, so it's not working properly. I apologize for that. We'll try and get it next week. So let me just go. What else we got for questions here? We got, do we have audio or do we type in chat? Yeah, you can type in chat. This isn't a Zoom call here. So Richard, thank you very much. Scott, you said it was all about, let me see what else we got here. Just want to make sure I'm in the right place. College programming instructor, want to build a website. Late because of, there we go. Teaching trade station, easy language and market trading. Okay, so what I will do then is I will go over kind of my campus that we've been teaching here at trainingsites.io, why I think it's important, and if you're creating a course, which I think is a really bad idea right now, I'll explain why I think that after, and I have a really good example of how that might fit into what it is that you're doing. But I'll kind of go over the way that I look at things and kind of where this fits in. And again, I have my notes open here. I'll do my best to go back and forth between them so that it works out. But this, and again, this material is all available to you within the campus. So if you want to play around with it and think about it, it's there. And this is, I'm just opening these up so that you have them. Just make sure we're in the right space here, and I'll move them over. Make sure they're a little bit bigger for us. There we go. So this, let me do, we got, again, my notebook's too far over. There we go. Okay, so these are the three things if you're going to have an education business. I have a thing called the campus map, which again, that material is available for you in trainingsites.io. If you haven't already joined, please make sure use the link over there to join. but this is all explained there. This is a little bit of a fine-tuned one, specifically because of what was happening with AI. Um, but I think these are the three things that you have to do if you want to create an education business. And you'll notice here that I don't have anything about courses, and I'll kind of explain why that is, relating to agents and avatars kind of coming into place. So the three things that I think you have to work on over the next 449 days, the first one is you have to start creating a community library. And what that is a curated and organized as best you can collection of all of the information about your specific topic or area of interest. It can be yours and your communities and other people's content as long as it is related and synthesized and curated and put into your particular community, your ecosystem where you actually live and you want to discuss and be passionate about starting, building, and growing an education business. So that's the first thing. You got to start creating a community library, not a course, but a community library. Um, the second thing is that you need to have a community to capture that content and have it available to not only yourself, but the people that you're trying to attract to be part of your community and your ecosystem. So that's the very, very first part, is to start building that out. And obviously there's a whole bunch of real benefits to that. And again, these are things that we cover in some of our live classes that we do. But doing this, and I do, the way that I do it is I do as many YouTube videos as I can, as fast as I can. And the reason I do them is not necessarily because of the YouTube videos. It is because of the transcripts and the content that I get, that I can plug directly into the community library. The faster you can build your library, the more digital assets that you have. And the part that we're going to do on this is that when you get that library started going, that's when you can start creating frameworks and recipes and using AI agents to synthesize or work on that data to present to the people in your community and monetize that. So you want to create your community library first. After that, you want to start thinking about, how can I use AI or leverage AI with my own proprietary recipes or frameworks and do live classes and teach people how to apply it. It's not about the content anymore. It's about the application or the implementation of the content. And if you don't have your own library, that means you're pulling content from all of the trained models that are available, that everyone else can do the same thing. And that includes the people that you're teaching. The students have all of this stuff, and the people that buy your courses, they have all of this stuff. So what makes yours unique? It's your no more overwhelmed library that is as organized as best you can, and then also your frameworks and recipes that directly apply to it, so that you can help guide or mentor those people in your community on how they can apply the information that you've collected for them. And then finally, the other thing, of course, is that you want to make sure that you've got your interactive classes. I think teaching is a gold mine now, and that's where we're going to be able to monetize things, actually doing Zoom training, live training, events again, in-person events, in-person classes. I think that stuff's going to be coming back with a vengeance. And you're going to be able to monetize that far more easier, or monetize it in a way that is generates more revenue than racing to the bottom to create a static content course. And then you want to have the business of it. It's not just courses anymore. There's all sorts of different ways to actually do that. And in fact, I did one yesterday. Let me see if I can pull this one up. I did a video yesterday, and we can even pull, let me just do that one. I'll pull it up. So the one that OpenAI did was the platform openai.com. So they did this announcement. I'll just show you this one right here. Let's go to the dashboard. And again, if you didn't see this, I have a video that I did yesterday about it. I'll make sure the link comes up. But this has Agent Builder, which is what they announced yesterday. And the part that is absolutely stunning with this is that you now can go and create your own agents that can be sold and or licensed. There was a whole bunch of different examples that I've done, but the way that this works, and I'll open this one up, I'm just playing around with it. But the one that is interesting here is this one here. I'm going to make sure that we just want to delete this one. I think I can delete it. Yeah, so just look over on the right-hand side here. The way that this works, and again, this is just one I was playing around with. The thing that's neat about this is these agents, you can have them run on, we'll do another one here just to have it as an example. Let's go. I'm going to click MCP. If you don't know what MCP is, it stands for Model Context Protocol. And the way these agents are available is that you can have any of them running on your MCP server. And what that is, think of it as your community library. So this isn't about creating a static course anymore. You can create an agent that runs off of all of these available ones, MCP ones that are third-party available off the start. Plus they've got third-party ones, but you can add your own server. And in this particular case, I have my WordPress site, my personally branded campus, my community library. All of my frameworks are all available as an MCP server. So any agents that I create here can use my training, my content, and my content only and actually have those agents available to me internally. But they've also announced something called ChatKit, I think was the official name of it. So I can build a chat bot and give it to someone else to put on their site, or license it to someone, or make an agent on my own content and white label it for someone else. So it's not just about courses anymore. It's more about how can we leverage our community library and use AI to teach our frameworks and those particular pieces that are in play there. So, you know, that those pieces that I was just kind of talking about, this is the part that I think is super, super exciting for all of us moving forward. Let me just make sure I'm going to close another window here so they can bring it up. There's just lots of fun, lots of cool things that are happening. So what are some other questions here? That's kind of and I will show you a framework if you want. I want to show you how easy it is to create a framework, because I did one this morning actually with a client that was actually kind of neat. So top chat, let me see where we got live chat. There we go. Tiffany, OpenAI Day was fantastic. Yes, Tiffany. Teaching easy language for market trading, teaching TradeStation. What else we got here? Late because of a monster. Thanks, Chef Kitchen. Yeah, perfect. So if you have any more questions, let me know. Put them in there. Again, these ones are wide open. I'm keen on looking at anything that you are working on. I do get questions, and again, let me just give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're from, what's going on, and again, I'll do my best to go and take a look at those particular pieces. I will, if no one asks any questions, I'm going to show you something that I did this morning with a client that we're actually building out a personally branded campus for. So this is someone who has a ton of experience in a particular topic, and they do executive career management and career search. And they're a specialist in that. They've been doing it for years. And in fact, they've got an absolute wealth of knowledge, whether it be audio recordings, documents they put together, blog posts. They've got YouTube videos, tip of the day, all sorts of stuff that they've been doing on LinkedIn. And they don't have it anywhere. They have like some blog posts on a website, maybe some videos that were stuffed into a course, but they don't have a community library that is available to a community. They don't have a community. They don't have any AI access to it. And in many cases, a lot of people, when they get into this situation, I don't know about you, but if you've got this expertise and you're going, man, I wish I could monetize it. What had traditionally been is, I'm an expert in this. I have to go make sure I go and create a course. And as much as that worked and might kind of work if you already have a big existing community that you can kind of sell that content to again, packaged up. I have no confidence in all in selling courses or creating traditional course content anymore. I think we should all be selling our frameworks in the application of AI prompts and or tools, and using our framework based on our community library, or at least the community library of the people that are actually creating it. Because everyone has access to AI. They're going to be using the prompt. So why don't we focus on helping people with the prompts and how they apply the prompts to their unique situation, as opposed to having a static course of content and saying, hey, here's how you do it. This is the way to actually make it happen. So I can do that if you want. That would be kind of neat. We'll go through that. What else do we have here for chat? This is I'm a little bit sad because normally I can just pull it up on the thing, and I don't know how to do it yet on this one. I'll have to work on that moving forward. So let me just do one. This is actually one that I did with a client. And one of the things that we were doing, I'm going to bring this up so we can actually work on it. Is I have a chat, an actual prompt that I made available, and it is in the community library, my community library. And what it is it was, I'll pull it up so you can actually go and see it. So we'll just do this one. I'm going to go visit my community portal. So you see this, and again, this is trainingsites.io. This is available to you. It's for free. The link is there at the bottom of the screen. I'd love to have you join there. So I'm just going to go to my prompt library here where I have a whole bunch of prompts. And we'll put one in here, and I'm just going to do, we'll do framework because this is what it is. And this one here. So this is one, and this is the one that I used with this customer client. And it's basically, this is a framework that I have that's called Frame. And what you're going to see is this applied, and it's turned any topic into a framework. So if you have a course or a topic that you want to turn into a framework so that you can teach it, this is an easy way to get going. So what I did is I took this master prompt here, and I'll just kind of highlight it and read it because it's a little bit small. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better now. So basically, the prompt just says, hey, you're a learning design coach. Your job is to turn any topic into a clear 4 to 6 step framework that guarantees one outcome. And I just said use grade 8 level, output and markdown. And again, you can adjust this if you want something that's 7 to 10 steps or 1 to 3 steps. You can do whatever you want. And what the user has to do is they have to replace the topic with one sentence. They have to give an audience on who it's actually for. And then they want to have a finish line or an outcome or a transformation that they want to be able to provide. And then it asks what to give. So in this particular case, what we did with this person is we put the prompt in, and then for the user, I just put this particular topic in, and it was, this resume must showcase achievement and impact, not just job duties. The language must be active, quantitative, and compelling, must be optimized by parsing by modern ATS or application tracking systems. The primary goal is to clean data extraction. So this topic, I didn't come up with this, nor did he. I just went to ChatGPT and said, hey, I'm looking at this prompt. I need to explain my topic. Can you write it for me? So I didn't come up with this, he didn't. We just used another tool to basically say, what should I put in? And we did the same thing here for the audience and the same thing here for the outcome. Now, if you're teaching a language, as an example, if you're teaching maths to someone, if you're teaching communication skills, if you're teaching how to use a piece of software or anything that it is where you're saying, hey, if you do this, you're going to be able to get this, that there's a specific outcome and a topic and someone who wants to know about it, this will work. So this is kind of cool. We put it together, what the outcome was, and then this is what it came up with. Now you have to remember, here's someone who's a executive career search. He does resumes, CVs, career management for middle and senior executives. So he could have a course, or he could teach his impact framework. And what it does, so executive career advantage system. So he's basically got the impact framework put together. And this one just came up from this. And what the action item is convert each bullet into whatever and a self-check. So this one you can basically create into a course, but it is a teaching course. It's something that you're involved in, that you actually get to do it. And we did this a couple times just so he could pull some stuff out. And I said, well, we've got this one here. We actually did a slide deck for it. It was pretty cool. And then the other part was, I said, well, you know, one of the things that they were talking about was in this impact stuff, I want to adapt it to live teaching sessions to paid community members. So I want a framework that we can use and go over live with the attendees who are making sure they're prepared for the major changes of AI. And it came up with Realign. This one actually had all of the prompts you could use while you're actually teaching people. So when you're thinking of courses, don't think of where's my syllabus? Where's my curriculum? Do I have a prompt that will spit out some content I can throw into an LMS? It's like, what is the framework that I can have and the prompts that I can use to help people learn what they need to learn to be able to get a specific outcome? So hopefully that kind of makes a little bit of sense for you there, just to kind of think this isn't exactly what we were thinking of with courses, and it's all possible because you've got a community library, you've got a place for classes, and you're treating it as a business, not just a single course. So does that make sense for you? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if it's something that, you know, that kind of makes sense to you. Are you in the space of I got to create a course, or are you in the space of what prompts do I use? Where are you guys at? Let me know. Let me know. And I'll do my best here. I'm trying to get, really wish I could get the chats working better. Is there any questions or things that you want to look at or cover? What do we got here? What are your comments on custom GPTs for monetization? Andre Hayward, hey, blast from the past. Nice to see you. Custom GPTs, yeah, we can certainly cover that. Now, if you don't know what a custom GPT is, I'll just pull one up here. Let's do a new one. Actually, I'll open up custom GPT. So custom GPTs are from OpenAI, and OpenAI has those ones. Google Gemini has something called Gems, which are very similar. I'll show you both of these, but when you think of a custom GPT, the way that I look at it as is if you find that you are making a prompt or trying to do something with a prompt on a recurring basis, and it's always the same kind of situation, and you're using the prompt, what you might want to do is create a custom GPT, which is like a packaged prompt that you can just run without having to explain yourself all of the time. And I'll give you an example of one that I've done. And I do have some videos on how to actually create these. In fact, I created some custom GPTs that create custom GPTs for you. I'll show you those ones in a second. But this one here is one that I use all of the time. And I created this one, and it's the 15 instant video thumbnail titles and scores. So what I wanted to do is every time I do a YouTube video, I wanted to have a set way to come up with a thumbnail, a title, and I wanted to have it scored so that I could kind of figure out where does it fit in, or is this a good one or a bad one? I asked for 15 of them, right? So I created this one, and as an example, I ran it this morning. Where's this one here? Would open, I think I did this one here. There's one here. Instant video ones and scores. I created some combinations for a particular one. And the way that this works is it actually goes and it creates an archive. Type these, where's the one I want to show you here? There they are. So it comes up with them in order with a title and a thumbnail, and it actually starts to score them based on curiosity, relevance, emotion, SEO, clarity, and then it gives an average. So I can see which combination has the best ranking based on the things that I put here. Now, how did I actually get to that? And how did we kind of figure that one out? So we'll open this one up again. And in my particular case, if I'm not mistaken, I can edit the GPT. So I'm just editing this one that I created. And I gave it some special instructions. Now, these are the ones where, remember I said it's like you have the same prompt over and over again. These are the special instructions that I have. And I put these in, and where did I come up from these? I asked ChatGPT to create me special instructions. I didn't figure it out myself. And I had some conversation starters. And then what I did is I added some documents and files that this one can pull on a regular basis, and then gave it some additional access to some additional tools. So when I created this, I now have a custom GPT that I can use and reuse anytime that I want. Now, here's the part that's interesting, and this is, I think, the question that came up. So what are your comments about custom GPTs for monetization? One of the things that you can do is when you have a custom GPT, right now I'm logged in to my ChatGPT account. So if I go to the upper right-hand corner and I click share, I can share with only me. I can share with anyone with a link or the GPT store. So what OpenAI was trying to do here, there's a couple GPT stores. I think they have one here for OpenAI. There's a couple third-party ones. I've not listed, I can't remember the names of those ones. I've not listed there. But you can say, hey, this is for sale. If you want to use it, it's available for sale. And if someone else wants to use it, they have to log into their ChatGPT account, click the link, and then they can use your GPT, and you won't know about what they entered in, and they only see the stuff about their account, but they're using your instructions, your knowledge base, your descriptions, the way that you've set it up. So yeah, you can do it in one of the third-party places to sell it, or the other thing you can do is, let's do this one here. I'm gonna open up another tab. I'm gonna go to trainingsites.io. And this is one of the other things you can do is you can just do shop, which is I have for sale some custom GPTs. I have the YouTube click generator. I have the advanced custom GTP builder. I have the AI opportunity generator. You can sell them. So if you wanted to sell it or monetize it, you can basically set it up as a product. And if someone, in this case, buys $20, what they're getting access to is the actual GPT, the link to the GPT. So yeah, can you sell them? Absolutely. Could you whip these out pretty quickly? Yeah, absolutely. The difference is that someone else can do this too, but they won't necessarily have your knowledge base and or instructions that you've actually created and your approach to doing it. So yeah, you can monetize it. It's a great idea if you have specialized knowledge or specialized frameworks or approaches to doing things. Because if you don't, someone else is going to be able to replicate it pretty quickly, I think. And then also you want to make sure it's about the same topic, right? So you have a consistent focus or category of GPTs that you can actually go and do as well. So that one's, that one's certainly something you can do. If you haven't played around those, I do have one of the prompts that's here. If you want to go and actually download it, one of them I did was free, which was this one here, Beginner GPT Builder. This is actually a custom GPT that will create a GPT. It walks you through the steps on doing it yourself, and there's it goes actually through it. So if you wanted to just go buy that one, you could certainly go and learn how to use it while you're actually using one, which is kind of neat. Now, the other thing that you can do, and I'll show you this one as well, is if you go to Gemini, they have one called Gems. Hopefully we'll be able to get this to work up here. There we go. So we've got Gems. I have one, for example, I created for daily community posts. In this particular one, on these ones, if I put my mouse over, I can edit it, and it works pretty close to the same way that you can do things here. But it also has the knowledge base, and you can put stuff in, and it works really, really well. Exactly the same thing. Now, on these ones, the part that's I think is kind of neat on these ones is that if you look at them and you're actually running it, it keeps a listing of what was done. And if I'm not mistaken, where's the one here? Yeah, I can't remember where it is, but you can share them as well. So when you open it up and you're editing it, you can share it, and it's like having a Google Drive. You can make it public, private, internal, that kind of thing, and do the exact same spot. So way to monetize it? Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to be a higher ticket item? No. Is it going to be more competitive? Yes, probably in that respect, yes. What else we got? More questions? What else is going on? I'm just going to go to look in the chat here because I only have the live chat one in the top chat. I'm trying to figure this out on the side. I apologize that. There we go. So, computer science made easy. This is one very useful channel on YouTube, especially for educators. Very high. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That if you're thinking about creating a course, and I get lots of people that say, yeah, I'm ready to create a course. I want to create a course. All I'm asking is that you think a little bit longer term than a course. I don't think there's a business in education if you're thinking of courses. If you can think of transformations or finished outcomes, is the best way to do that give people content, or is the best way to do that be with them and guide them on applying AI tools, agents, services for them to learn how to or experience or guide them personally in their own personal situation, their own personal setup, using the tools they're going to use anyways? How can you help them out and streamline that? So don't think about content anymore. Think about what are my frameworks? Sell the framework and the application and the implementation of what you're doing because you got all this experience. Teach that. Teach it with gems and custom GPTs. And if people are running into trouble and they know that you have a community about that topic, they know that you have all this background information, they know you have all of these frameworks about it, and that you're there to help them, they'll pay for extra help. They'll pay for extra help. If they don't want to pay for extra help, they'll try and figure it out by themselves, but they're going to take time and energy doing that, and you can save them time and help them make sure that they're applying all of these things correctly. So I think that's where the real opportunity is. And I think actually, let me just pull this up. I've got hundreds and hundreds of these mind maps put together, which is, I don't know if it's fortunate or not fortunate. Is this the one here? That's not the one. I've got a whole bunch of these ones open up, so I'm just going to try and make sure I find the right one. Here, we'll just open this one up here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to one of my maps here. That's one of the things that I do, by the way, is I try and mind map everything. I use a tool called XMind. It just allows me to see in pictures kind of big processes and put them together, frameworks and put them together. This is one that I have, for example, I don't know if you can see at the bottom. This one's a little bit hard to kind of zoom up. Let me get it so it's out of the side here. So I have, my FIT framework is here. That's another framework that I have on how trying to figure out what is the best platform to have your privately branded community is. I have some other ones for a campus framework, which is another one that I came up, which is all about, how do you actually figure out what sections are in your campus? And the other one I just want to talk about is these value ladders here. And I think, the big picture for value ladders, I forget how to, just trying to remember how to make this zoom in the tool. I don't know if I can. So let me just open this one up here. Yeah, so I look at value ladders in a way to charge people within your campus. And the way that I kind of approach this in the AI time We'll do my video pencil too. We'll see if I can open this one up to get it to work properly. Let me see my video pencil. Yeah, so this is, from a business perspective, there we go. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so from a business perspective, this is the way that I kind of look at the value that you can provide in an education business. And I look at it different or upside down or reversed what you may have been taught when it comes to selling digital products, which I don't think works anymore. And again, there's always exceptions to that, but for educational content, I think it's probably a waste of time, energy, and money to approach it as if here's my opt-in download digital product, here's my low ticket offer, here's my this, and then maybe you'll do some coaching and try and funnel people down into something. I look at it backwards, and I always use this example. And the way that I look at it is I make sure at the bottom, I put as the foundation of everything is YouTube. Again, I try and get YouTube content created as quickly as I can for the transcripts, for the transcripts. And that information is my audience at the bottom. These are people that I want them to tune into the station or the channel. I want them to go, oh, this guy's got 500 videos on one particular topic. I don't want to have one video a month. I want to have as many videos as I can, as many transcripts I have about all of the topics that are about starting, building, and growing an education business and having a personally branded campus, everything in and around those. And what I want to do is build it as best as I can and get it into a community library, which is that first framework there. And what this is I do the community library, it's $0. And the reason that I do it this way is because I want your email address. So of all of the people that come on and watch my YouTube videos, if you look at the top of every YouTube video, every description, the first thing that's there is join my community and the link. And the reason I want to do that is I want to get people in to the community, and I want them hopefully to start getting engaged, which is something I'm still working on, but I want to get their email address so that I can market to them in the future. And I want them to say, yeah, this topic's for me. If they don't want to join the community, then they're probably not going to end up buying anything from me in the future. But it's that space for me, that space for you, where we can talk about education, AI, and treating it as a business. And I don't do anything in terms of money there. It's absolutely free. And all of my content that I do on YouTube, I massage it, synthesize it, repurpose it, and put it into the community, and that becomes part of the community library. It's there for everyone. You can go in, play around with it, look at my prompts, watch the YouTube videos that I've done. Just as an example, if we go in, let me just pull up one. I'll just so you can see kind of example of what I'm doing with these ones is, I have a library. These are all YouTube videos that have all been repurposed. So I did a video about ChatGPT Pulse. There's the YouTube video, but I also have all of this additional information, prompts to use to actually do it. And again, this is stuff over and above what's on YouTube, but it is part of my digital library, my community library. And this was created using AI, and I built a little agent / app to do it. But I just have the YouTube video, it pulls from the YouTube video the transcript, and it creates this post directly in my community library in my campus. So if someone watched the whole video, it's there. If someone wants to get the key points, it's there, but it's in my library. So I look at it and say, hey, if you want this stuff, if you want all of my content without having to search on YouTube for all the different pieces, it's there and it's ready for you to use. So that's the stuff that's in the bottom, and that's just a community member. Pardon my stuff on there. The next area that I have is if someone is ready for some help, they can pay to become a member. And it costs to become a member. Now, what's the difference between a member and a community member? or a community, someone who's just in the community, the difference is me. If I'm going to be a teacher or a coach or a consultant or someone who's going to be an expert, anyone who's in trainingsites.io that says, hey, I'm not going to be the DIY person anymore. I want to do it with you. I want someone to help me. They're going to pay to monetize that. So I have a campus pass. If you want to join me live on Zoom calls once a week or twice a week, hey, you can pay, you can do that. That's someone who's a member of my community. They're a paying member. And then I have another group of people which are partners, and these are the agency ones where they say, I don't have time for anything. I just want a privately branded campus. Can you do it for me? And we can whip those up in about 24 hours so that you have a site exactly the same as trainingsites.io. But this value ladder is the part that where we can monetize all our expertise, but it's based on your own system, your own ecosystem. And some of the things like custom GPTs are all part of that, but it's in your community. You have their email address, they're generating content, you're generating content. It's all there available for people who are interested in your particular piece so that they don't have to search YouTube for a billion new videos that get added on a daily basis. So does that make sense? Is that something you think you can hang your hats around, or is it something that sounds absolutely crazy? Is it overwhelming? You know, what parts do you actually need help with doing that? There we go. John, not been able to communicate in this session. It's been great, but I feel I missed quite a bit. Watch it again. Yeah, these are all available directly within the campus. So after this happens, what will, actually, let me see, I have one open. Let me just, I'm going to see if I have it actually open. I did a video on this too. I did a video on how to build your own apps, and I did one in Claude. I'm just going to see if I can get it to come up here. This one here is, what is it? I have to remember which one it is. I have to remember which one it is. Here, I think this one might work. Hopefully it will. No, I won't. Okay, I'm going to open it up on another screen here. I build an app. I think it's, there it is. This one might, there we go. Okay, hopefully you can see this one. So I built an app in Claude. It took me a little bit of time to do it, but what I did is I said, I'm going to give you a YouTube transcript. And what I actually, this one I actually had to go out and get it. So let's actually do one. We'll do one that I actually did. So let's go to my, let's go to one of the, let's go to a YouTube channel here. Actually, and if there's one that you want me to do, put it in the chat. It doesn't have to be mine, but we can do one here and we'll actually do it so you can see what happens. And this is why I do all of these ones as fast as I can. So I'm going to go to my channel. Oh, not my Google account. Didn't want that one. Oh, let's go here. Sorry, it opened up in a separate one. So we'll go to my channel. I did a YouTube video yesterday. Let's do the one from yesterday. That yesterday one was about the OpenAI one. So I'm just going to go and copy this one so we can go take a look at it. There might be an ad that comes up.
This Italian trick with
There we go. So I'm just going to get the share link. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to go to my little app that I built. Right now I have it set up for custom GPT-4. And it says, what's the YouTube video? I put in the link to the one that we just did. And I think I have a custom prompt that I can use. No, we'll just use the standard one, or we'll do a deep dive one. So I have some pre-programmed kind of ones that I put in there, which is just, you know, some ones that are there, but I could put a custom one in. And in my case, what I've got is, I'm just going to hit the start So you can see it to start processing videos. And when I do that, it's going to do a couple things. It's going to go get the transcript from YouTube. It's going to use, in my case, ChatGPT to run a prompt against it. It's then going to post on my personally branded campus the YouTube video and the transcript synthesized message that I had in the prompt. And I actually have it set up so it's actually going to create an outbound email campaign for me to do that. So let me see what we got here. Is it finished? Deep dive. For the YouTube one, it looks like it's still running in the background, still processing. So, here's an example where we're taking advantage of or leveraging all this cool stuff with AI. But what I have to do is create content. What you have to do is create content and then leverage AI like those employees, like hand it off to someone. Hand it off so that you don't have to do it. You just have to worry about creating content and then figuring out, how am I going to teach it in a live class, in a Zoom call? How am I going to be able to interact with people to find out how they're applying it? What are the different tools or frameworks that I have that use the content that I put in or can be examples of for it? So there we go. It's finished processing, and let's go take a look at it. So I have a raw post here. I'm just going to copy it. I'll just show you where this is in the bottom so you can see it. So this one just said, here's your video. It's been processed. I'm going to copy the link. And it also added it to an actual outbound campaign. We won't do that one. I'm just going to open it up. And we've got I have it set as draft. So there's the video. Introduction, main idea, step-by-step framework, exactly what I was talking about. What to do next, and then ready. So there's a repurposing of content that is in the community library that has a framework. So someone can look at this. If they're the do-it-yourself part, they can apply it, learn how to do it, watch the video. But if they say, I'm using this situation, or I'm a little bit different than this, or I'm kind of stuck on that, I need some help. How can you help me? My particular case, you can go to a class and pay to get access to one of these classes, for example, that we run on Mondays and Tuesdays, and actually starting on Fridays pretty soon. Or they can also do a class and become part of the VIPs, campus builders, where we actually have special spaces and take a look at what's happening for individual people. So, in terms of a system that's put in place, this is about treating it as a business, not about a course. Like, think bigger than courses. Courses are not going to be around. Traditional content courses, they're dead by the time you finish it, unless you have a framework and you can help people apply it. And even if you're teaching stuff on communication skills or a hard skill, people end up going, and when they have trouble or they want to figure something out, they're going to ChatGPT and asking for help. They're going to YouTube to watch a video. And in many cases, they're still having to struggle on which one applies to me or which one that it is. But if they're a member of your community and they know you have all of this content, they know other people are doing the same thing with the same struggles, they'll ask in there, hopefully get some direction. And if they need some extra help, you're there, your classes, your environment, your ecosystem. So that's kind of the setup I have. So what else we have here? Not a chat box. Now I have one. Something happened and bring that. Okay. What else we got for questions? How long have you been going here? An hour already. This stuff is so much fun. One of the things, don't be afraid of AI. It's not going away. There's not going to be less. I'm absolutely pumped for the next 449 days because I think, the stuff that we think of in terms of learning, just imagine what's going to happen by the end of this year in the next 2 months. I think Gemini 3.0 is going to come out. Gemini is like all over the place in everything that we do. If you're in Google Workspace, it's built into the browser now, which is a whole other issue. Actually, I will show you that. I do have some videos. One of the things, if you are, I think now it's available everywhere, but if you're using Chrome as your browser, you actually have Gemini, which is their stuff, built in directly to it. If you notice in the top of the page here where my mouse is, it says AI mode, or if you're here and you hit the tab, it's Gemini. It's directly in Chrome. It has access to Chrome. All of the tabs that you're working on, everything that you're there, it's directly right within Chrome. You can do this with Claude now has control of your browser. So Comet from Perplexity has control of your browser. The one that just came out with ChatGPT, let me just open this one. I don't know if you saw this one too yesterday. ChatGPT, these are some examples, and I did them in the videos yesterday, but just to show you this, what would be a good one? They did one on Coursera. What was the question that we had here? Learn about, someone had a question earlier. Give me a topic. College programming. Okay. Okay. So let's say, for example, I need to learn about, what's the one that was there? I'm just looking for a good example. Um, 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 we'll do calculus. What did I do? Let's try algebra. So watch what happens here. Hopefully that I did the typed it in the right way. So OpenAI now has actual applications directly within ChatGPT. So whenever I actually ask a question about algebra, one of the partners of ChatGPT is Coursera. And it says right here in the bottom, it says use Coursera for this answer. And remember, your students have this. The people that you're trying to sell courses have this. Anyone who's trying to learn what it is that you're teaching has this. And I'm now actually have this directly in Coursera. Now, I don't have an account, but if I wanted to click my Coursera account, I can use it within ChatGPT. And I don't have one, unfortunate. Now, I did do this in the demo. The part that's cool, of course, is that this window here that I'm looking at, this window, because I'm in ChatGPT, it knows what's in the window. So if there's a video in the window, if there's a picture in the window, if there's text in the window, if there's graph in the window, I can ask ChatGPT about what's in the course. So again, think about it. You got students you're trying to teach something to, they can go and they can actually talk to courses that are existing from other vendors. So how are you going to make yourself different? I think it's going to be live classes and you. You're going to have to be there to help people over and above what they can learn on themselves. About not just how to learn algebra, but what is a specific thing in algebra that they're trying to figure out that they're struggling with. If they could go and take 5,000 courses on Coursera, it might take them a year to take the courses or 2 hours to go through, even with ChatGPT, to get the answer that they wanted. But if they're in a community and if they do have access to your frameworks to apply and also you to be there or your team to be there, people are willing to pay for that to save the time, energy, and effort to kind of streamline all through the overwhelm of all the possible answers that are coming out. So that's kind of a cool one. If you haven't already, make sure to just go and watch the video that I did, because this one here, I did some demos of it. I think yeah, it was the courses are dead. This one here, Open Agent Kit changes everything. That's the one that I actually did this on yesterday. And again, it's playing an ad, so I don't want to necessarily do that one. But if you haven't already, please make sure and go and watch that because it's flippy stuff that is changing it for everyone as well. So what else we got here? Not been able. What are some other questions? I've been going for an hour here. If there's some good questions, I'll keep on going. Okay, Doug's there. Hey, Doug, thank you very much for coming on. What do we got here? What else? Any more questions? What else we got for questions? What else you want to talk about? Things that are going on, not going on. Where's the? I'm just trying to think of. There's so much stuff that has happened in the last kind of week. It happens all the time. It happens so quickly, and I understand that it's hard to keep up with things. One of the questions that I get, and again, I don't know if this is you, but if just to put this in perspective, I'll just give you an example. There is a website called, pull it up. There, here we go. There's a website called There's an AI for That. So I'm just going to sign in. I haven't been signed in for a while here. And here's the thing that is pretty wild. So, and I know this happens all of the time, that right now, I think in the free mode, if I'm not mistaken, the dashboard, they have tools and jobs. I think there's like 4,000 or 5,000 AI tools that are kind of available here. I'm just trying to think. Relationship, these are ones here for personal, for work. 7,000 for work, 6,000 for business. So you're looking at 13 or 14,000 AI tools that are available. Now, for me personally, and again, this is something you have to decide, but I want you just to think about this. If you focus on tools, they come out every day, there's a brand new tool. I don't spend any time on these personally. I just focus on Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity. I work with those four, and I try and make sure that I can get the best out of those four, as opposed to trying to figure out, I have one AI for this, one AI tool for that, one AI tool for this. I think you're far better off in terms of the actual results that you get to stay consistent and also have an understanding of how each one works and how they get combined together. So if you find yourself being overwhelmed with, trying to figure out what tool should I use or how do you do that, my suggestion is, and what's worked best for me, and I don't know, let me know if I'm completely off base here or if you don't agree with me. You can't keep up. And even some of these ones now are going to be having some trouble staying in business as Gemini and ChatGPT and Claude actually replace some of the features or functions that happen here. I know over the next couple days, you're going to see a whole bunch of news on YouTube about how the brand new agent builder from ChatGPT, it replaces some other tools, which are AI automation tools like N8N, Make, Zapier. So some of these other ones you may have tried, it's like one of the big players is doing something that kind of replaces another tool. So I don't know about you, but just kind of think, what is it that I need to do? And what tool do I have right now that I can use to do it? And is it worth my time, energy, and effort, and even money to go and find one tool to do one particular piece? So it's like you got a set toolbox ones to use, figure out how to apply them to what it is that you're doing, as opposed to going and get 7,000 tools in your toolbox. You need good tools that you know how to use on the jobs that need to get done, not have tools that could be applied maybe to something that you might have to do. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that, because everything happens so quickly. And I bought a whole bunch at the start. I bought a whole bunch of books on what prompts to use. A lot of times, you see stuff on use these 1,000 prompts to be able to do stuff. I don't even use prompts anymore. I ask ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini to create the prompt for me to give to itself. So that, I find that far easier, and I get better responses if I ask the AI tool to prompt itself, basically, which works a lot faster. And if you can get an app or an agent built together with those programmed, then you don't have to worry about prompts. You have to worry about communicating the context of what the situation is that you're actually involved in. Uh, and I think the other part that's interesting, again, I'm just ranting here. Give me a thumbs up or let me know if I'm completely off base here. The other part that is so exciting is that, the hard part for most people using AI in education is trying to provide the context of where the student is or where you are or the person taking the course, so that when you do give a prompt, you get a response back that fits the context. The part that is so cool that's going to be exciting in the next 449 days is that we're going to see those meta glasses, those watches, all of the wearable stuff will have all of the context about our physical space. So where we are in time, in space, in location, in resources in front of us, we won't have to explain it. It'll just know where we are and know what we're doing. So getting good at communicating what you want to have happen or what the result is, and making sure that, when you're doing natural language prompting or talking to AI, that you kind of, get good at thinking, this is where I am, this is where I need to go, help me get there, and let AI leverage it there. And if you're going to be teaching that, it's like, there's 1,000 different ways to get there. This is the one that I used to get there, and it saves a whole bunch of time, energy, and effort. And if you want, I'll help you with that. So there we go. Doug's saying, create an AI one pager that action items is order each goal that you want to accomplish. Yeah, that was something we could do. What else we got here? Live chat. I'm just looking over to see if some other ones here. Puts actions in orders. Yeah, so here, Doug's got a good example. One of the things that, here's what often might happen if someone says, I want to be able to, teach people how to create a list of action items. And in many cases, you might say, okay, well, this is the list of things to do based on my experience. And you may do a course explaining the list and your pieces in the list. But everyone's a little bit different. Everyone may have a unique situation. So what my suggestion is, Doug, is anytime I get a question like this, I basically tell ChatGPT or whatever the tool is that I'm using, I'm just saying, look, I'm trying to help my customer or my student put together a list of that has this result at the end. What prompt would I use to be able to do that? So I'm not answering the question anymore. I'm asking, how do I use an AI tool, or how does the person use the AI tool to create the content that they need based on them personally and their situation? So I think turning the question around is a little bit is, putting that one pager together isn't the list of items, but it's having the prompt or a gem or a custom GPT that you can basically say, here's the situation, create a list or action items for me to do this. And if you have a framework that you like or one that you've created, you can have that to share with people, but just ask ChatGPT for the content or the prompt to create the content. Don't give people the content, because it's going to be different for them. How do you create the content? How do you put the list together? What are the ways that you've done it in the past that work well? How can you help them apply and implement your framework? Think of it in that way. So I try and move past the content creation, but look into again, it's the application, the accountability of actually applying it and taking the steps. So again, my 2 cents on that one. Uh, and if, and as much as I could say, oh, I've got the best prompt for that, I don't think there is, best prompts for now. It's ask the tool for the prompt to give it. Takes maybe a little bit more time, but remember now that all of these tools are actually trained on your memory, and they have the context that's starting to be built up around all of the chats that you talk about. And actually, I'll show that to you if you haven't seen it already. So let's go back here. I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm just opening one. There we go. So I'm going to open up my settings here. I'll open up the screen, so hopefully you'll be able to see this. Yeah, I hope I'm in the right place, I think, here. So when you're in ChatGPT, in the bottom left-hand corner, Make sure you can see it there. Bottom left-hand corner, I just clicked on my name, and if you go to personalization, they have the personality, custom instructions, but on this one, I have to remember on this one, where's the one that is? Notifications. Just trying to remember the one is, where it is, occupation. Memory, sorry, there it is here. So there's one called memory. So you have to remember now that these tools, all of them have it now, I believe, all of the big ones I mentioned. So memory. So once memory is full, you can manage which one's at full. It says reference saved memories. So that means let ChatGPT save and use memories when responding. So if you're talking about a particular topic, or whether it be list building or whatever, and you have a whole bunch of chats about it, it is going to be referencing those previous chats in order to give the answer that you've just recently asked it. And it also says, let ChatGPT all previous ones. So you can use it about the specific ones within a chat or within a project, and then actually have it all of them. So these are all kind of things that you kind of got to think about. It's like, how do I make sure that I'm getting the best answer? Is it having the best prompt anymore? No. It's about making sure that you have a story or a complete story that you can use. And if you get stuck, just ask ChatGPT. If you don't know what to do, just ask ChatGPT what you would ask it, or what it would ask itself, in order to get what it is that you want. So what else we got here? Something you use YouTube videos when I join up. So yeah, John, you're just asking, I don't know pronunciation. He'll lose you if you go to the bottom to write that message. Okay. Yeah, so what do you get when you actually sign up? I'll just show you that so that you see it. We have it. If you do want to sign up and just be part of the members, I'll just show you the page and kind of explain what it is. This is the salesy part. We'll go with the salesy part, if you want to call it that. So I do have, just wait for the page to come open. Okay, so all of the content that I have is free. The prompts, any of the material from the YouTube videos, everything is free in here. What I do charge for is some of the advanced frameworks that I have, and a couple of the custom GPTs. But if you want to join the live sessions, these are Zoom calls. These are Zoom calls that we talk back and forth. These are working sessions. So this isn't you watching a talking head lecture, or just having to chat in the actual live stream, which is okay, but this is a Zoom call. It's not something that is a live stream, and we actually work on your site, your projects, your prompts. And the whole idea here is to help you apply all the stuff that's in the campus and the community, and help you apply it for you for starting, building, and growing an education business, whether that's building your community and the content, whether that's hosting your live classes and creating frameworks, or doing all the monetary part about how do I market my campus and organize it, what platform should I put on there. So if you join up right now, it's $97 a month. And this is all about all of the different practice and things that we have to do. There we go. Just get rid of that voicemail one there. It's available. And again, we do 2 of these a week right now. And these ones, one's in the evening on Mondays. We do Tuesdays in the afternoons. And these last anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. And again, it's a live Zoom call that we do it. And those ones are available. So those are working sessions. All of the stuff we do in frameworks, we apply it to your particular site, and we go through things like that. So I have a $97 a month right now and a $9.97 annually. So if you want to join, yeah, absolutely, that would be wonderful. And we'll actually go through some of these as well. And the question was, I think the question was, just let me know if that's what you were kind of thinking, is that if you have YouTube videos and you want help creating an app or an agent that you have to actually go out and do what I showed you on the screen, yeah, that's one of the things we could work on in one of the classes, if that's something that you want to do. I don't even have a framework specifically yet for that, but that would be a good framework to create, right? And if you wanted an app that was built that does that automatically, here's another example of what's happening with that that piece here when we were talking about the platform and the, let's go to our dashboard here. We'll just do a new one, agent builder. Going to create this one. Let's say we wanted to create an agent that converts YouTube videos to frameworks or tutorials. If this is something you want to do, hey, we'll work on it. See if we can get it to work for you so that you have your own agent to be able to go and apply. And if you don't ask me that, you just gave me a really good idea on what I'd be able to do. I'll create an agent and I'll sell it to you if you want. So again, start thinking about how you can monetize these things and think a little bit more about, hey, a course or no? Do I help you create an agent or show you how to do it using a framework I have? Or do you want help actually creating one so that you can use in your own space? So different approach to it. That's the way that I'm kind of looking at it there. What else we got for questions before I bring this in for landing? 217. Something I can use with the YouTube videos and I join up. Yeah. Lose you if you go to the bottom to write a message. Hopefully that stuff is working on the chat. I'm going to try and get it working. Again, normally it shows up here, just on that right-hand panel there. Normally it shows up, but I broke something, so I got to figure out how to fix that. That was one of the things that happens while you're playing around with all of these tools to actually do the live streams. What else? Anyone else got any questions? I'm just going to touch on one thing because it came up in a couple of the calls that we've had recently. And this is something just to consider if you're looking at what I was talking about, building out that community in the campus and making sure that you have, your own space. You've got a community library. You understand this stuff that, man, I got to create some YouTube videos. That's really important, but you're scared. And I get that. If you're afraid of creating content, there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing it. Some people may just be comfortable creating blog posts. That was always kind of a cool way to do it. And in many cases now, a lot of people create a traditional blog post and they do it by using ChatGPT to create some content. Now, you can certainly do that to start building out your community library. That is one form of content, but in my opinion, it takes a long time to create authentic content for your community library that tells your story and your approach to doing things if it is just text that was generated by some other machine with a prompt that you like the format of it. So it takes a lot of time to put that particular piece in. I look at this from two perspectives. One is I try and capture my digital exhaust. And the reason I do that is because the content that you need to create doesn't have to be clean anymore. So if you are doing stuff while you're working for an existing client or you're doing it for yourself, capture that on video. If you have Loom, for example, or you've got Snagit or Camtasia or some of these other tools for doing screen captures, and you're typing something into ChatGPT, or you're doing a PowerPoint or creating a graphic or filming something, just capture what you're doing while you're doing it. That is content that can go into your community library. It doesn't have to be public in the community library, but it is content about your topic and the way that you actually do things and the discussions that you had on stuff. The second thing, it doesn't have to be formatted. If you have PDFs that you collect from other people and or things that you're commenting on that other people do, that can go into your community library. You can comment or reference it and recreate or repurpose stuff, put it in your community library. The second thing is the YouTube videos. You have to remember that when all of these AI tools access your community library, they are not accessing the PDF, the blog post, the entire video. They are accessing chunks of that content, and they're putting together the chunks in order to give the response. So if you have 25,000 chunks or you have 1,000 chunks, which one is going to have a better representation or better answer or better response? The more content that you have, the better. That's the first part. Second part is it doesn't have to be clean. You don't have to have an overly produced video. You have to have your content, your approach, naturally communicated, being authentic, and being able to share what you're doing while you're doing it and how you're doing it, and just get it captured and put it on YouTube to build your audience and to have those transcripts to repurpose and put in all sorts of different formats to people actually want to do. So if you haven't created a YouTube video channel yet, please start creating one. And when you start creating it, I recommend that you either open up a StreamYard account, which is doing live streams, or Riverside FM is another one. Or if you have a PC and you're a little more technically inclined, go get a copy of OBS for the Open Broadcast Software, I think it's called. Or in my case, I use Ecamm. And if you can, do live streams. And when you do live streams, don't do them public, do them unlisted, and just do a bunch of live streams. Spend a day doing live streams. Talk about what it is that you talk. Just go and practice. Get used to looking in the camera when you're doing it, but just go and practice and practice and practice and see, oh my God, I sound like that, or why am I always looking over there, or I didn't explain that very well. Just practice for a day and then get at least some that you like. And when you do a live one, try and do live ones and record them. When you do them live, keep them unlisted. And a couple of them you're going to go, hey, that wasn't bad. I sounded like I knew what I'm talking about. And then put it up on YouTube. You can keep it unlisted on YouTube. But you can also use the exact same process I talked about, where we took that little app, took the transcript, and converted it into content. So get on YouTube, create as many videos as you can, as fast as you can, put them up there. If you're totally uncomfortable, keep them up there, but just keep them as unlisted. But you have the content that's starting to get created, and then you can start repurposing them. And play around with stuff. You know, look, is it okay if I look into the camera? Do I need to have a slide deck to talk to? Can I talk off of a mind map and just look at the mind map and talk about the talking points for each particular one and then kind of explain what I'm doing? How does that actually work? What fits? What doesn't fit? What are the pieces that I need to talk about? What are the ones that I'm missing? So, sorry, that's my little rant on stuff like that. Yeah, is this something I can use with, what else have I got here? Any other questions? Does this stuff make sense to you? Are you afraid? Ready to go? Give me a thumbs up if you got a YouTube channel. What's happening? Who's got one? Who doesn't have one? Get going, guys. It's happening. Just here, 224. I'll probably bring it in for landing here unless I get another question. But if you can do this for me before next Wednesday, if you don't have a YouTube channel, just go and create one. And I don't have any videos on those ones specifically, but just go do the guys from Think Media, for example, that are good. Just go find one of the channels about how to start your YouTube channel. Just go and watch it, or talk to ChatGPT and say, hey, I'm just thinking of starting a YouTube channel to put unlisted videos up. Give me the steps to do that. Or what prompt would I use to give you that would guide me through that particular process? And then just go get it started. And if you can do that one thing, if you don't have it already started, that would be great. Before next Wednesday, make sure that you have a YouTube channel. And then secondly, if you don't have a StreamYard account or an OBS account or a Riverside FM account or any of those tools, they have free levels that you can just have your webcam or your phone, a basic microphone in front of you, and just do some practice ones talking about what it is that you actually are doing. And if you have a framework, explain the framework to someone else. Explain what you're doing and while you're doing it. Explain a little bit about your story, who you're trying to help, what your approach is to stuff. Just start talking in front of the camera, record it, do some chunks, take a look at it and go, oh my God, that was awful. Or, oh, that was great. And every time you do them, keep it as a live stream, but also keep it recorded. And the reason I want you to keep it as a live stream is because you become more nimble on your camera if you can get a habit of knowing that, hey, maybe it's okay to have a little muck up on your screen if you're talking about a screen that you're actually doing on these live streams, or if you have trouble choosing words or you find you're not looking in the right place, that's okay. Content, 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 community library, library of stuff in your community, live classes, treat it as a business. Those are the kind of the 3 key steps. So, okay, who we got there? Anything else? I can do my my proverbial pitch here. If you haven't already, please make sure to go to trainingsites.io/join. All my community is there. My content library is there. It's all free for you to get in and play around with. I'll just do a quick one so you can actually go and see it again where things are. And go back to the main page. Let's go to the home page here. So the way that I have this set up, and again, this is a service that we provide, my agency provides. If you want to have one like this set up in about 24 hours, this is a service we can provide. And actually, it's actually here. I'll put the link in it so you can actually see it. So it's trainingsites.io/site. You can go to this page and book a quick call with me personally, and I'll go over what's involved, but it takes about 24 hours, and you can have a site exactly the same as trainingsites.io. So that one's there. And my campus, the way that I've got this set up is we have the live classes, which are for the paid members. We have the courses right now, which are the frameworks that I've been doing. And you can see that we now have, some of these are draft ones. So we have the Clear framework is here, the Click framework is here. I have, what's the other one that's there? I have a couple other ones, custom GPTs. Where's some other ones? I have some bunch. So I've got 50 specific kind of courses in here that are available. I have the TAC framework, the space framework, and these are all ones that we actually apply the framework for you if you want to figure out how to start, build, and grow your education business, how to build your community, how to build out the content library. All of that stuff are in these little frameworks. I have all my YouTube videos. There's 500 plus YouTube videos that are available with any of the additional notes and prompts and stuff that are there. I also have the library, which are, pardon me, the documents that are all available in the prompt library. Those are all available. So this is free for you to get in and play around with. If you have questions in the study hall, these are all open groups that you can get in, talk about things, let us know what you're working on, share your stuff, and even wins and celebrations. We've got some users now that are starting to add some of the apps they've actually built. Yeah, what did we have? We had a couple ones here. People that have created their own custom GPTs. They've got some examples in here as well. We had one that was actually creating Dean had created a game app. So here's someone who's in a college teaching a particular thing. He built a game to use in the classroom to teach a use case of a particular piece. Vibe coding tools, for example. All sorts of German grammar exercise generator. These are all things that people are talking about. And if you want to get in and share, find out what people are doing or get help doing these things for your own particular space, this is where I'd love to have you in there. So hope you enjoyed it. I think that'll be it for today, unless there's nothing else that jumps out at me and says, hey, I need to have this specific answer. If you're ready and you don't want to, Brandon Camp is perfect for corporate speaking for Doug. Yep, absolutely. Privately branded campus. Create your ecosystem, create your community, and then work at monetizing it and your own brand based on your own content and your own frameworks. That, I think, is a future to protect ourselves from being overwhelmed by all of the AI content, but more importantly, allowing us to leverage all of the cool tools that are coming out on an hourly basis, it seems. So thank you everyone for coming on. Hour and a half today, back next Wednesday. VIP members, make sure to come on Monday evenings. We're on Tuesday afternoons. If you're not a VIP member, get into the study hall, ask some questions, share what you're up to, put some wins and celebrations. I don't want you to be afraid of, hey, I can't put my link in. If you're working on something, put it in the wins and celebrations. Put it in here. I'd love to see what it is. Share what you're doing. I don't want you pitching a whole bunch of things. I don't want you selling things, but I want you to share what you're doing, what's working, and what's going on in your business, because there's enough room for everyone. And there's going to be more people doing more cool stuff that is so exciting. I want to find out about all of it. So again, thank you very much. James speaking. Like and subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Take care. Expect the best.